Well, hello. Hi, how are you guys? Hi. Hey, Allison Mills, how's your wrist? What did you break? I think it was. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to another refreshing chat, another awesome conversation in store for you today. I'm really excited to be joined by two fantastic people that are just doing their thing when it comes to corporate, but also understanding that sense of professional and career moves. Because I don't want to get too caught up in, somebody said I look radiant. Oh, thank you so very much. But I don't want to get too caught up in the idea that, oh, well, this is corporate, it's not for me. Not at all. Guys, we are talking today, bonjour. We are talking today about fears. How many enjoyed last week's conversation with Erica and Corey? Fantastic. And so we're continuing our conversation regarding fears. Thank you to Refresh, my lifestyle brand. If you don't already follow Refresh by KF, please do, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have some wonderful conversations on that platform that are incredibly inspiring and informative. You didn't miss anything, Lynette7594. You didn't miss anything. All the chats are there. Go to Refresh by KF. You can certainly find the chats on our YouTube channel. You can find the chats on my Instagram as well. So you never miss anything with us, okay? So we're going to be chopping it up today. Do I sell my coffee locally? The Harlem Collection. Right now, and I don't know where locally is for you, but right now somebody's asking about the coffee line that I have. And we sell exclusively at Signature Blends by KF. Okay, so you can definitely get all of your coffee and tea and biscotti needs there. So I hope that helps all of you. Infused water looks good. It is good. So I want it to be very refreshing today. And this is your kind of your visual reminder that this conversation is sponsored by and presented by Refresh by KF. Now, when you see me with my coffee mugs, that's because those conversations, one cup at a time, those are sponsored by my coffee line. So lots of conversations for you. And today, again, we're going to be chopping it up with two wonderful people, Marvin Hamilton and Tiffany. I want to say Bender is her last name. Yes, I'm correct. And Tiffany Bender. And so they're going to be talking with us about career, workplace, corporate fears, and how we can basically manage and not be managed by our fears of success, fears of failure, dealing with other people and the fear of interaction and communication, the fear of, am I good enough? Am I too good? Some of y'all got them fears. So we're really going to be chopping it up today, and I cannot wait to jump right on in. From my Refresh team, Kira and or Naomi or just one of my team members, could you remind me who I'm supposed to tag in first? I got all of the notes and I am prepared with the exception of remembering who comes first. Is it Marvin or is it Tiffany? So can somebody from my team let me know? So I see Miss Tiffany Bender in, so let's just start with her, shall we? I'm so excited with you, Tiffany Bender. Again, the coffee site is at Signature Blends by KF. Hi, girl. Hi.
Oh my gosh, it is the living legend, Kim Fields.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. 1 second, please. Kira, you don't have to yell at me. I don't need all them exclamation marks on. Just answer the question. Kira up there giving me all these exclamation marks.
You know she is very punctual.
Yes, indeed. So guys, please welcome into our chat, into our conversation, the lovely and talented Miss Tiffany Bender. Woo!
Hello, everyone.
So let me give you just a brief introduction for Miss Tiffany. She is a producer, talent acquisitions, finance, procurement, and budgeting for Condé Nast, which is a mega media company. I'm a fan of so many of the publications. And then she also has her hand in many businesses. Everybody's welcoming you. Way to go,
guys. I see all the love.
That's right.
We
got home training up in here.
Yeah, your folks, they are very welcoming. I love this.
And so you also have your hand in some retail businesses, a candle business, some retail apparel and things like that. But Tiffany, one thing when my team was sharing information about you is just how for your resume, your accomplishments, your blessings, it's like, oh, but wait a minute, she's female. Oh, but wait a minute, she's a woman of color. Oh, but wait a minute, she ain't 75. I mean, you've got a lot. You're checking a lot of boxes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, people could look at that resume. People could listen to, some bullet points from your bio and think, oh my gosh, she's got to be fearless.
Quite the opposite, actually. Quite the opposite.
Okay.
Even today, like, I told Kira on your team, and when I was like promoting it, I was like, the irony of me talking about fear in this platform and in this venue is I'm terrified right now.
Wow.
I'm so nervous right now.
Really?
But the thing I think that like keeps me, I just try to do it scared anyway. Like because for me, and I feel like we're jumping questions, but for me, I rather be scared in the moment and say I tried than to live with all the feelings and emotions of just missing the opportunity completely. For me, that's worse than fear.
Right. Ooh, wait a minute, because you said a lot right there.
I'm sorry.
That we saved these, because you started with, you'd rather be afraid and try. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, last week, we had a life coach on, Erica Strong, and she said,
yes,
do it afraid.
Do it afraid. Do it afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Because the alternative is scarier. The alternative is the confirmation of your fear. You know what I mean? Like, ooh. So you didn't try, and then you also didn't get it because you didn't try. That's what you're afraid of, right? Not
That's
getting
a
it.
Double negative, family.
So, and I might do it, and I might do it wrong, but like, I'm also confident in my bounce back. I'm confident in my tribe to like catch me if I do a big mess up, so It's like, why not? You know?
Yes. Oh, come on with it. She said, I'm confident in my bounce back.
Yeah, I'm confident in my bounce back.
Did you say I'm confident in my tribe that they got me?
Amen. They got me. They got me. Because I do the work to make sure they know that I have them. This is a reciprocal relationship, right? And so that's why, like, my friends call me like the bully cheerleader, because if they're like, "Oh, I want to start a podcast," I'm like, "Well, then we need to blah 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 blah." And I don't, and I'm going to publicly apologize to them now because I don't account for the space that people need to grow into doing it scared, right? But I'm like, girl, even if you mess up and it don't go well, I'm gonna still be here, and we're going to get some wine, we're gonna laugh about it, and we're gonna move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. And I know that's the energy and love that they'll pour into me if and when, that fall happens.
Yeah. Woo. So, I mean, you were so transparent. And to me, part of the work of dealing with fear, hey, Toronto, I love you guys up there. But to me, part of the work is that transparency.
Yeah.
Part of the work is being transparent, first and foremost with yourself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And so for you to be able to boldly sit in and acknowledge, I'm scared right now.
Yeah.
So what is it in you that allows you to actually speak the transparency?
I think, I don't know if you guys are also into astrology in the comments, but I'm also a Sagittarius. Okay. And so my natural disposition is, okay, so what? I try it, and then so what? That is my natural, like, and my mother will tell, like, I was always the kid in school that's like, I'm going to make up this project. I want to make up my own course because this is not serving me in this way. And I've always been just, so what? The learning for me is actually how to communicate in a way that's also very empathetic and understanding where people are in their journeys in that so what. That's where I actually have the challenge, because I'm like, come on, everybody, let's just do it, you know? And I'm exactly. Do you see why you are my living legend?
And I'm an empath. I was recently informed that I'm an empath, and yet and still I'm like, oh, I need a little bit more.
You can shut it down
in this area.
Yep. You can shut it down because you know that you're telling somebody, let's try and do it, because you know that good, better, and different, you'll catch them. So that's the problem.
I'm gonna need you to say that again.
No problem. I'm from New York too, so I talk very fast. Yeah. So, once you start hearing the coffee, and you know, because I want to buy your coffee and all that.
Right. We got your coffee. Go down to the bodega.
The bodega, the store. It's the store. So I say all that to say is that the reason why I'm like, tell my friends, like, let's just try it and do it, because I know that, like, again, the worst that can happen is that you didn't try.
Yeah.
But again, as an empath, we need to do better at, I think, accounting for that space of that people need to, like, take their time. Some people, I'm going to jump in the pool. People want to dip their toe, and we got to respect that. You know, that's my journey currently.
Yeah. Respect. It's funny. Respect usually doesn't come into fear conversations, thoughts and processing with fear. But I feel like that respect has to expand, not only in terms of others, but yourself first and foremost, right?
Can I don't think I even like shared this story as vocally as I'm about to tell, but there was a time that I let my anti-fear make me lose respect for myself. In that, I like allowed myself to get to burnout because I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try that, blah, blah, blah. And again, I'm doing it scared, but I'm also not having respect for myself to say, you need a minute to rest. Maybe you bounce back from that failure too fast. Maybe you didn't celebrate this small win long enough. You know, and so, I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. Okay. So I didn't have respect for myself. And it got to the point, I remember I was burnt. If there's a past burnout, that's where I was. Because again, I'm living this fearless spirit. I'm trying it all. I'm doing it all. Yeah. And I'm not sleeping. I probably would have about, speaking of coffee, I would have probably went through a whole bag of your coffee a day. Like it was, but I'm not listening to my body saying, girl, I don't want no more caffeine. I want some sleep. I didn't have respect for myself. And I was in front of my manager at the time, and I had a bad shoot and like, you know, just wasn't trying to hear it. Cause again, I didn't sit in that bounce back long enough to see what I did wrong, to see where I could have improved. And I just remember I was like looking at his face, and he's like giving me very constructive notes. And I have tears coming out of my eyes, and I cannot feel them, Kim. I cannot feel tears coming out of my eyes. And I'm still sitting here like, yep, okay, I noted that. And he's like, girl, you okay?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, why are you asking? Why, what?
Yes.
How, that is such a deep betrayal of yourself.
God dog. It's a deep betrayal of your.
I betrayed myself.
Girl, I feel like you came up to me in like in a fencing duel kind of manner with a white glove. Just like,
I'm God. Yeah, you know, so that respect for yourself is so real. It's so real.
Oof. Okay. Listen, I'm glad that y'all are getting all of this.
Yes.
And I tell you, this
feels like I said, it feels like such a safe space right now, because I don't even think I knew I could articulate what I just said in that way. But this just feels like such a safe space and safe conversation.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you feel that way, because it absolutely is. It absolutely is a safe space for you and I, for everybody that's on here, for everybody who will watch again and again. Absolutely safe space. Okay. I had notes. I had stuff.
I'm sorry.
Please don't be. This is so good. When you are in that world, that work world, okay, where it's popping. It's I mean you're at Condé Nast, so you know that's fashion, that's food, that's
it. That's the creme
travel,
de la creme.
that's that life where you are about it, and you are one of the contributing elements to presenting that to the world.
Yes,
because Condé Nast is a global brand.
Absolutely.
So when you were moving and swirling about and all of that, and you do have that mindset of, okay, wait a minute, slow down. Okay, celebrate that victory. You know, when you feel like the fears are dealt with and they're not getting you, is there a feel of getting too comfortable in that?
Yeah. Which is another fear, because it's like, all right, now all the goals you have, if you had 10 goals written down and you achieved 11, then what? That's also scary. That's also scary, because I especially think maybe we're a little bit more lucky as creatives because we have more flexibility in the careers and goals that we set for ourselves. Like, you know, I started out as a PA. I never, this world that I'm in now didn't exist then. So like my goals were able to like flex and change. But can you imagine checking off everything on your checklist? I think in theory, we think, oh, I'm going to kick my feet up. I'm going to finally retire. But the truth is you get new experiences, and you get goals, and you get, you know, new ideas. Yeah. That is scary to start that whole process that you've been chasing all over again in a space that you might not necessarily be like as familiar or as senior. So I think complacency is actually the easier thing to feel. Complacency feels like, all right, well, cool, then this is what it is. And I would say I was there. I moved to Los Angeles with the company a year and a half ago. Right before I moved, I was in that complacent space because I was like, all right, I know all the people I need to know in the building. I'm on the best brands, and I get to do all this cool stuff. And I was like, cool, let me kick my feet back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But when you serve a God who like will put something in you or remind you of the seed he planted in you, you're going to feel it.
You're going to feel it.
You're going to feel it. So as comfortable as you think you are, you're going to be like, I don't think my feet should be up. Maybe I'll take my feet down. All right, one arm. I'm not going to rest all the way. Right. And then all of a sudden you're back in the game.
Yeah.
I think realizing that your purpose is so much bigger than you thought, those little 10, 11 goals that you had, that's scary. That's scary, Kim. That's scary. I get to work in Africa on stuff. That wasn't on my checklist. I didn't think that I would be, you know, programming a huge global festival where my ancestors were taken from. Girl, what? That wasn't on my checklist. But if I kept comfortable in the goals that I thought I was supposed to have, I would have never, you know, like, I'm just here for the ride now. I'm just here for the ride now. I'm sorry. I know I'm about to start crying too. I'm about to start crying too. Don't worry.
Okay. So, you're not only are you engaging with all these amazing people on here right now, but you are,
I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm sorry.
You're chatting with somebody who at 15 said, I didn't want to be a has-been. Because that's what my industry, my part of the industry would breed.
Yeah.
And that became the motivation, not the goal, but the motivation. I don't want to be no has-been. I hate if somebody tries to get me on a where are they now. Fuck you, I've been right here.
Yeah, I've been here doing the work.
LL on them. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. So, I've always, in my opinion, mismanaged the balancing of content and contentment and complacency. I've always, and because I've mismanaged that, I've been, you know, people will say, oh, you're so driven. Oh, you're so this. You can look up at age 51 and go, oh, wait a minute. I'm going back to work on my Netflix series. The little girl from Harlem.
The little girl. Hello? I'm from Lenox Avenue, okay? I'm from Lenox Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a professor, I studied abroad, and just by chance, and everything happens for a reason, because that trip changed my life. And we were studying in Paris for 6 weeks. My professor, this incredible Black woman named Janice Mays, it changed my life, and just took us to all the spots that all these incredible Black artists were at, and we did the Harlem Renaissance tour, and me being a girl from Lenox Avenue, looking around like, because we used to run up and down Stravers Road.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I remember we had to write like a final like paper or whatever. And I wrote a poem to Harlem, just saying like, yo, we need to love on our talent the way all these other European and other people love on our culture. And for me, that was the first time that I also realized that the opportunities that we get, the knowledge that we learn, it's not for us. She told me, she said, you think you hot stuff, but if you can't take what you learned in this program and explain it to your cousin Pookie in Lincoln Projects,
right,
you didn't learn nothing.
Right. And
I carry that with me every single day. And so to your point about this space between complacency and contentment, I think that space is gratitude. That's where it is. Because if you're grateful,
no, ma'am, you do not get to continue after that. You get to just let that sit.
I let that sit.
The space between contentment and complacency is gratitude.
That's it.
We just gonna let that breathe like a fine ass wine. Just proceed.
So I say all that to say, when you're grateful, Kevin, you're gonna make me start crying, and we did not come here to do this, okay? But like, when you're grateful for all that you've done and accomplished and all that, you realize that like it wasn't just you, it was the fish fry that paid for me to get to Paris at my auntie house, right? It was my parents behind me on the computer, we all trying to figure out FAFSA. It was my uncle who, worked at MTA his entire life and hit me up with a couple $100 every time I came home to buy my books.
Yeah.
And so when you look at all those things, I'm just grateful that I was able to have these experiences. Mm-hmm. And so that gratitude will also carry me to finish the rest of this vision.
Yes. God
is not going to plant something in you. He's not going to give you a vision for your goals without giving you the tools to accomplish it.
No, he will not.
And so that's that space. Because it's like, I'm going to sit here and be grateful that I did all these things, but I know I have more to give. And that's the thing too. It's like, I'm giving this talent to the world. It's not mine to have.
Yeah. It's to me that understanding of, yes, the seeds are in us and being watered, but we also have the opportunity to water someone else's garden while we're waiting on our stuff to grow. And watch this, family. Sometimes we think we planted, I don't know, let's say carrots. And the harvest comes and we see telephone poles. Wait a minute. What?
What? Yeah.
I didn't do that. That's not what I signed on for. What do we do with fear in that moment where we're like, I don't know what to do with telephone poles because I planted this. I planted carrots.
But let me tell you about the power of gratitude, right? Gratitude will allow you to sit back from that and say, all right, God, what am I supposed to do with these poems? Not, I didn't want this. Because I also had that moment, right? Where I was like, God, I said I want X, Y, and Z, and you giving me A, B, C. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't want that. I hope that this is a good example. So I'm getting married also.
Oh, congratulations.
Shout out to Black Love. Thank you. And my entire life, I was like, I got to get married in New York City. I got to get married in Harlem, blah, blah, blah. And just the way that things were working out, it's like, maybe it's best for us to get married in Ghana. Like, it's very important to my fiance's family, like, and let me show you how God works, right? This is my telephone pole moment. In my heart, I also want a lot of my friends and family to come to Ghana and realize how transformative it is for Black people. I now have the opportunity for people to come and experience what I've been screaming from the rooftops about in the vehicle of coming to celebrate me and my love. Mm. And so now around this wedding, I get to take them to the slave castles and show them where their ancestors were taken from. Yes. I get to bring them to Afrochella to have the best time. That's my telephone pole. I was like, no, I don't want, nobody's going to want to come, blah, blah, blah. No, people love you, girl. And they love your man, and, you know, they love your families. And we, again, that tribe, of course they're going to come. So now the thing that you said you wanted to do, I'm giving you a full highway. That's the telephone pole. Mm. I'm excited about my wedding for sure, but I'm more excited about, again, the cousin Pookie from Lincoln Projects that has never left New York City, going to the motherland. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Celebrate my love, and then here's the Ivory Coast too.
You know what I'm saying? That's the telephone pole moment. Yeah.
Come on with the telephone. We're gonna have a book on telephone pole moments.
Thought that that's the next hashtag. That's the next hashtag. Telephone pole moment.
Telephone pole moment. You talked about the visions, and that's how we got to, you know, what the seeds are and this, that, and that. So what are some of the existing visions that are coming to pass in the form of projects for you, and things of that nature, the things that you're working on now, and how does, because we recognize fear is healthy. We recognize that fear is useful. It is a tool in our toolkit. Absolutely. It's just about how we use it and how we make sure that we have the power over it. So within that, you've got new wonderful projects. You've got a new wonderful love and a new set of chapters coming on. I saw your note, Kara. Thank you. So where are you with it in this new chapter?
Yes. What I'm most immediately excited about is I will be on a panel for Black Girls in Media. It's a 2-day digital conference. Please, after this live, go to my page and click the link. I'm so excited about that because it was one of those moments that, like, it was a very specific thing on, like, my vision board to, like, some way, somehow work with an organization like this that prioritizes Black women in this space. And I mean, like, from like 5 years ago. And so now here I am being asked to be on this panel. And so in order to, like, show my gratitude there, I want to give away 1 ticket a week to a Black Girl in Media. The rules of the challenge are on my page. So please, young women, even, you know, all sexes, genders, races are invited. But if you want to sponsor a young Black girl that you know is in media and can really benefit from this conference, please let me know. I'm giving away 1 ticket a week. Please do the same.
We will do the same. Yes. Kira, Refresh by KF. We are Lifestyle and Media. We will do the same. We will sponsor some of the young Black girls in media that we're familiar with.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Like, so please attend yourself or sponsor a young lady. I'm doing a giveaway once a week. Outside of that, I'm incredibly proud of my family's brands. We have a clothing store and we have a candle business, Bakery HMY and Harlem Heirloom for the candles. And then, of course, follow Afrochella on Instagram, Twitter, and Afrochella.com. You know, things are a little strange right now with COVID, so we're still deciding on this year's festival. Yeah. But if you want to come next year and be a part of the festivities and the wedding celebration, we welcome you all.
Oh, my goodness. This has been phenomenal. I know that we were not, you know, in the pre-interview, the pre-chat and that sort of thing, everything that we went over, but I definitely feel led to include this in this conversation because unfortunately, how could we not? How do we as people in media, first and foremost, then as women of color, how do we use our platform not to simply regurgitate, but to move the needle forward as it relates to some of these very difficult and challenging moments that for some can make them fearful when it comes to names and incidents. Of course, we're talking about Breonna. Of course, we are talking about the narratives of the moments in the movement right now. for you as someone in media, with your own set of brands, but then also, you know, because you do have this reach in Condé Nast. So how for you do you kind of navigate through these waters?
I want to first acknowledge my privilege in the space I'm at in my career to be able to, because the answer is honesty. The answer is not waiting for a pretty, you know, Instagram post or a graphic to talk about real issues. That's the answer. Mm-hmm. But I also have to acknowledge the fact that, like, God forbid if I posted something about Breonna Taylor and I got fired at Condé Nast, I have a near 10-year career to stand on. I have great contacts, again, that beautiful tribe to say, yo, I got fired. You know, who can hook me up, right? That's not everybody's reality, and I understand that. Yeah. And so for us, with that privilege, whatever your color, race, creed may be, if you are in a space of status or management in your career, it's our job to protect the people on the ground, right? Those are the people that are going out to the protests. Those are the people that are risking their lives for us, right, to be in these safe boardrooms and have those conversations. So we need to be having if we can safely, you know, without fear of repercussion, we need to be at those tables shaking them.
That's right.
My you know, again, I'm very lucky. I'm very privileged that my bosses know when something happened, they're like, Tiff, what you think, girl? You know, but that's
right.
4 years at this company of building those relationships. Not everybody has that, and I get it. Just know that I will be in those rooms saying what's what and what it ain't.
That's right.
Other people, again, if you have the freedom and flexibility, don't wait for the pretty Instagram post to have the conversation. Have the conversation. Yeah. And also read. Like, read, please.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. It's not just about regurgitate.
It's about reading, informing, because we are waiting for the next James Baldwin. You know what I mean? Like, we're waiting for the next, and it might be you, but you're busy here following somebody else's message that you don't even 100% align with. Read some books, watch some documentaries, like, get in tune with the issues that you care about. That's how you make the change.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. This has been incredible. Thank you. Guys, we will of course tag Tiffany. Of course, she is now a friend to Refresh. But
fellow Harlemite.
yes, and a fellow Harlemite. Definitely Harlem honey drips through her veins as well.
That's right.
But thank you so very, very much for your transparency.
Thank you for having me.
And for your strength and your courage, for your fears, for your leaning into the afraidness. While in motion, you know, that you don't, I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to let you go, but here's
no problem.
Sometimes fear is paralyzing. Has fear ever paralyzed you? Hi, Leslie. Mwah.
Hey, Leslie, girl. Has fear ever paralyzed me? Yes. I think there are still things, like you said, I've been checking off the resume and all that stuff. You would be actually shocked to believe that, like, I just started feeling proud of myself for any of that stuff. Like I would say this year, and also this book, I left it here for a reason. It's called The Untethered Soul.
Okay.
It's the journey to knowing yourself. It's a very easy read, but it really digs into and living your life in an intentional way. And that's when I was able to realize that even if it was subconsciously, I have been living my life intentionally. Like I said I want to do these things and I did them. I'm just missing the gratitude piece of it, like to sit in it. Fear paralyzes me still because I know, based on those visions that I know that I'm supposed to accomplish, my passions, it's not, like, even this live, I was like, no way she want to talk to me. No way. I could have let it paralyze me today. And if it wasn't for Kira and Marvin, who will be on next, who was my big brother and my career coach, I would have been like, no, I don't want to do it. I jumped over the paralyzation of fear to be here today.
Okay, well, thank you. Yes, as you mentioned, Marvin is up next, so we will get Marvin in the room to continue this wonderful conversation about fear, and fear in terms of career, professional, workplace, workspace, and all of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Joy speaking to you, hon. Really, absolute pleasure.
I could get off and go scream now. I'm fully gonna go scream. Call my mama in the chat. Shout out to Harlem.
Shout out to Harlem, honey. Thank you so much, girl. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay,
bye.
Bye. Oh, wow, guys. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Wasn't that something? Wasn't that just amazing? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. My mind is just, whew, just all the gems. I'm so glad that I can go back to this conversation and replay it and really write down some of the things that was said and shared. And again, guys, that transparency, you know, is just so, you have to have that, you know, first and foremost with yourself, and then being transparent to be able to share with others in a way that just lets people know you're authentic. You know, that's a word that gets tossed around a lot nowadays, but I definitely feel like we are onto something with all of this. So